you for tuning in to This Week in Poker. We are back from the Card Player TV studio in Las Vegas with this week's poker news.
Paul Wasika was the NBC Heads Up Poker champion last year, and they have invited him back to defend his title in 2008. The invitation-only Heads Up Poker Championship consists of 64 pros, and Wasika was not the only player to get a second opportunity to play in this prestigious event.
Shannon Elizabeth, Eric Lindgren, Chris Ferguson, Antonio Sfondiari, and Gavin Smith are some of the pros who have been reissued invites to the 2008 NBC Heads Up Championship. However, NBC had to differentiate this year's event from last year's, so there will be some new but familiar faces at the Heads Up tables.
The third-place finisher in the Card Player Player of the Year race, Jonathan Little, and the 2007 World Series of Poker main event champion Jerry Yang were included on the list for the first time. The players will all compete in a bracket-style tournament that kicks off with a pairing party at Pure Nightclub. Play begins at Caesars Palace on February 28th, and the champion will be crowned on March 2nd.
The third season of Poker After Dark premieres a few hours after the new year begins on January 1st. That means that if you can manage to stay up a little later than midnight, you can catch the very first episode of Season 3. For Season 3, Shanna has been replaced by a new hostess, Marianella.
The third season features matches that are sure to be fun to watch. The first show consists of one amateur's dream table. Ken Light chose to play with Phil Hellmuth, Jen Harmon, Daniel Negreanu, Mike Mattisau, and Scotty Wynn. The first two seasons of Poker After Dark consisted of 57 pros, and this season, 15 newcomers, including Bobby Blonde, Chao Zhang, Sam Grizzle, and Scotty Wynn, will make a first-time appearance.
In tournament poker news, the Doyle Brunson 5-Diamond World Poker Classic wrapped up earlier this week at the Bellagio. 664 players each ponied up the $15,000 entry fee, and that created a total prize pool that was just short of $10 million. Two former World Poker Tour champions, Ryan Dow and David the Devilfish Uliet, made it to the final table, but neither was able to clinch a second title.
Eugene Kachalov entered six-handed play as the chip leader, and he was able to maintain that chip lead throughout what was the shortest World Poker Tour final table ever. He won the tournament in a record 53 hands. Kachalov went into heads-up play against 75-year-old tournament rookie Ted Curley with a huge chip lead advantage, and it proved too much for Curley to overcome. Kachalov took home almost $2.5 million for winning his first World Poker Tour title. Prior to this win, Kachalov's biggest score was last June when he won a Bellagio Cup preliminary event and made almost $120,000.
On the East Coast, the World Series of Poker circuit stopped at Harrah's in Atlantic City this week. The championship event had a $5,000 buy-in, and it attracted 244 participants. That created a first-place prize of more than $379,000, and that money went to John Racner when he defeated Eric Buckman. It was likely a very satisfying win for Racner, since last year he finished third in this very tournament. The next stop on the World Series of Poker circuit is the Grand Casino in Tunica, Mississippi. The preliminary events begin on January 3rd, and the $7,500 championship event starts on the 19th.
In legislative news, attorneys general from 43 states recently issued a letter to congressional leaders that said that they have grave concerns about Barney Frank's proposed bill. In the letter, they expressed their support of the ban on online gambling since it has driven illegal operators from the United States. Nevada Attorney General Catherine Cortez Masto was one of those who chose not to sign the letter.
The proposed Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act regulations have drawn forth comments from financial institutions. The Credit Union National Association said that it would be nearly impossible to comply with the proposed rules and that the term unlawful must be clarified. In contrast, the Independent Community Bankers of America praised the proposed rules as reasonable.
In international news, MGM Mirage opened their newest property this week, and it's located in Macau. The 600-room Las Vegas-style resort features Chihuly artwork and an enormous conservatory. It is actually a 50-50 joint venture between MGM Mirage and Pansy Ho. The hotel and casino created over 6,000 new jobs in Macau.
And that sums up This Week in Poker. I'm Lizzie Harrison.
And I'm Chris Arnett for Card Player TV.
Happy holidays.